Val Kilmer has been resurrected via AI to star in the new movie As Deep as the Grave. This is weird because it's like, I would understand if they had shot, he got sick, they needed to finish it, like Paul Walker, in the Fast movies, but this is from scratch.
Just because that actor looks like Val Kilmer by face, is it really him in performance?
Right. Like, how is that? Are they going through every Val Kilmer movie and making like a Val Kilmer model? Probably not. All right, welcome back to Denoised. It's been a minute. Addy, how you doing?
It's been a minute. Let's go.
This is on me. I was busy with some other videos and projects, which one of it is out now, the One Battle After Another with Beeble and SwitchX, which came in clutch at the end because I was trying to experiment and use Beeble and try to recreate the One Battle After Another car chase with an iPhone, and initially Beeble and Nuke, and then it hit a limit, but then SwitchX came in clutch, their new product. That thing's wild.
You came close. I was impressed by the end results.
Thank you.
And
you
didn't even get an Oscar nomination or anything.
I was hoping it would have won the Oscar too, but I mean, I can understand Sinners. I mean, obviously Sinners is well deserving of it, and Autumn, I can't remember her last name, but I still think that Coogler's IMAX explainer video did so much to lift everyone's awareness of IMAX and film for that film.
He should be writing the framing decision list. Did you see that just came out from the ASC, like the official FDL? It's like Ryan Coogler can write that in his sleep. He just knows all about aspect ratios and formats.
I know, yeah. It's still crazy. Not to get too much on a tangent, but like the Dune 3 trailer came out 2 days ago or yesterday. Mm-hmm. And let me find. Now I gotta find it. Okay, so basically,
come on! I don't want to watch it. I'm saving it for the weekend.
Oh, you know what? Well,
I'm gonna put it.
The
on
trailer
the
came
TV.
out. Well, first, A, why haven't you watched it yet? And then B, the trailer came out on YouTube. Regular 16:9, and then they also released a bunch of clips on TikTok and Vertical. But because they shot an IMAX, someone took the horizontal clips and the vertical clips and stitched them together so that they were basically able to recreate what the unaltered 1:4:3 IMAX frame should be for the trailer.
That's awesome. See, that whole aspect ratio game has really leveled up.
Which also, at this point, why is IMAX or why is no one releasing a full uncropped version of the trailer on YouTube? Like, YouTube can handle it. I don't know why IMAX
because our devices are still 16:9 or wider, right? Like, we don't have CRT monitors anymore.
Film nerds
those used to be 4:3.
On a laptop do not care about the pillar boxing that they will experience. They want the full image. We all want the full image. Yeah, we don't care if it's going to be pillar boxed. All right.
Maybe it's a strategy on IMAX's part, right? Like, the only way you can see the square aspect is you go to the IMAX theaters.
I mean, anyone that cares enough about it's going to see it in IMAX anyways. Like, this is the trailer. We want uncropped images.
Okay. Viewers, we're sorry about this tangent. Let's get back into it.
I mean, if you care enough about this too, let us know.
I don't think we're getting comments on this.
All right. Kind of got a couple stories here around AI actors and acting and stuff. The first one, this hit the other day. Val Kilmer has been resurrected via AI to star in the new movie As Deep as the Grave. So Val Kilmer passed away last year, I believe. Or 2 years ago.
Right after Top Gun Maverick came out.
So according to Variety, Kilmer was cast in the movie in 2020, 5 years before his death, but he was too sick amid his throat cancer battle to ever make it to set. Now an AI version of the actor is appearing in the film with the full blessing of his daughter.
Nice.
So I don't think doesn't sound like they shot anything with him yet. It sounds like he was casted, too sick to shoot, and now they're using an AI version of him.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I'm pretty sure this won't be the last, right? Like, this is a new avenue for estates and actor longevity after they pass, or even if they're too sick to work.
I mean, first off, like, we haven't seen any of the quote performances, so like, we don't know how this is going to play off and how they're going to film it. It's like, are they going to film it with another actor and use, like a motion transfer to overlay his likeness on another performance? Is it going to be completely text or generated? But yeah, I mean, I saw the con side of this is like they didn't film anything. Val Kilmer brought his performance and acting to the performance. You're losing that, which I understand. Like, I think you lose a lot when it's not a human performer, even if it's like a motion capture kind of setup with Kling motion transfer. This is weird because it's like, I would understand if they had shot, he got sick. They needed to finish it, like Paul Walker, and the Fast movies. But this is from scratch.
Yeah, I do see your point about the physical performance and all the minutia of facial performance that Val Kilmer will provide that is only him, right? Like a sub-in actor is going to not be able to replicate that 100%. So just because that actor looks like Val Kilmer by face, is it really him in performance?
Right. Where, like, how is that? Are they going through every Val Kilmer movie and making like a Val Kilmer model? Probably not. It's probably
I don't
just like
think
this.
so. And even then, like, you're still, the script and the performance would be so unique to this movie in itself. Like you can't take Val Kilmer from Heat. Mm-hmm. Right, build a model off the motion and the performance and the look, and then expect that to sort of jam its way into
Top Gun, like completely different characters, performances.
Yeah,
I'm thinking now it's like the other from a filmmaker producer perspective. So if you had Val Kilmer on board for this film, I don't know if this is an independent film, if this was like low budget, or if this was like a passion project that they got Kilmer on board. Having a big name actor signed on your project hugely helps with the marketability and being able to sell that film.
Yeah.
So I also don't know if it's that kind of story where it's like indie film that's getting produced. I'm speculating that they got him on board. He was too sick to do it, but his estate, his family, still wanted to do it, believed in the project, and recasting and losing Val Kilmer to have in the marquee, it greatly hurts like the chances that you have to sell that film.
Absolutely. Yeah. For an indie film, that could be make or break, right?
You need name sell films in the indie market.
At least one.
Yeah.
At least one to anchor it around.
Yeah. How many times have you seen like ton of smaller indie films that has a big name and then you watch it and then they're like in 2 scenes, but it's like, hey, but we got him for like 2 scenes. It helped market the film.
I do get it from audience perspective because we don't have anything to anchor ourselves to the indie film, right? So when we think, oh, Val Kilmer, I associate him with like 3 really amazing movies. This has got to be worth something. He wouldn't just do any project. Yeah. So then you naturally gravitate towards that project. Yeah, this could be like a very elaborate licensing play, right? I think that's what you're inferring to. Like just having Val Kilmer's name on the marquee and his face on the poster could be enough. And maybe performance is a secondary sort of giveaway.
And we also don't really know how big the role was. I'm assuming minor supporting role, not like lead actor role in the film as a guess, because that would also be a lot of heavy lifting to have a fully synthetic or however they're going to do it performance in the film.
I don't know, man. I'm seeing a lot of AI videos online. It doesn't seem like a heavy lift to me.
A heavy lift in the sense of something that is cohesive and watchable for 90 minutes.
Yeah. If he was a primary character, that would be hard.
And you don't have weird Uncanny Valley for 10 minutes in, and then the other 80 minutes you're just like, oh, what?
It would be so distracting from the rest of the movie. You're just focused on like Uncanny Valley stuff the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that was one story. Kind of just hit. So obviously a lot we still don't know yet, but a lot of opinions around that.
I'm guessing a lot of bad opinions.
Yeah, of course. Look, also as a blessing of the state and stuff. It's also not like, hey, we're going to take Val Kilmer and like run with this, and even because he signed off, even though if his family's like against it, the family is for it.
Well, I don't see it any different than Ian Holmes and Alien Romulus.
Yeah, I was
right?
thinking of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like instead of AI, they used
and
body scans of Ian and traditional VFX and CG.
Yeah, where's the line when stuff like this does happen, when it was just using more manual methods, but still the end result is the same? Now, the argument for Alien was like, that was based on existing character. We know what that character is and kind of what he should look like and how he should behave and act and perform. Yeah. Whereas this is something completely new that has no
That's true. Yeah.
reference.
For Alien, that's more story and lore continuity.
Yeah.
This is, it feels like more for marketing and sort of initial vibes.
We had him movie signed on before. Like, we don't want to lose that to help, our film's success chances. Okay, other story in the AI acting world. An AI company, The Verge's quote is, AI company wants to harvest improv actors' skills to train AI on human emotion.
Did you say harvest? Why
The Verge's headline says harvest. Yeah, because they're just going for the crazy hype. But so it's a company called Handshake. And I believe Handshake is one of the companies, if you hear those stories of like, oh, DoorDash or one of those companies is filming you do like menial tasks to train a model. I think this is one of those companies that sources people filming themselves doing things to provide data for the AI companies to train on.
So it's like a video data Uber. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, basically, like one of the I don't know if it was Handshake specifically, but one example was like the company's paying people to like film themselves folding laundry, like, and getting thousands of hours of people folding laundry so they could train
$74 an hour.
Robot.
Sign me up.
Yeah, so this is a new job posting for improv actors, $74 an hour. To basically, Handshake AI is inviting actors, improvisers, and performers to join a paid collaborative improv project. And it's basically Zoom calls where they are filming themselves doing improv. Improvise scenes and dialogue, collaborate with other performers, experiment with character, emotion, and subtext. And then this is all getting training data to then train other models or provide this raw data to whatever company wants to train models to have better synthetic performers.
Okay. You want to hear my take on it?
Yeah, let's go.
This is going to fail atrociously. It's just going to hit the wall so hard. Here's why. When you take, let's say there is a script of something happy and you take the input of 1,000 improv actors expressing the happiness. What an AI model is going to do is more or less funnel it down into latent space of that, and all of the minute expressions of each individual actors will basically get muddled down into one giant expression. And that giant expression of happiness is just going to be so over the top and cheesy that it'll be more distracting than what you originally intended. We talked about Val Kilmer. Like, the reason Val Kilmer is who he is because of the way he expresses happiness. It's different from the way Tom Cruise expresses happiness, and we identify those emotions with those actors, and there is a very strong vein of individuality to that. And when you are trying to like mash all that individuality into training models, you're not going to get it back.
I mostly agree with you. I think I don't think this would hit the level of like what a real performer brings in their interpretation to a script, a character, the subtle nuances. I think sure this would help in just general text to video outputs and getting some better nuances out of like a single shot from a synthetic character. You know, I mean, I also realized as you're talking through that, we're thinking, you know, film use cases because that's our world. But I was thinking when you were talking about it, like it could, you know, we're trying
like a
to
TikTok video.
TikTok for one, but even like gaming or like NPCs. If you're like playing a game and you're having this under the hood, but if you're having interaction with a character that is powered by AI, but then having that character also be able to have better physical reactions. That's a synthetic character in gaming. That could also be an application that makes sense. Or
I think so. I think you're right. I think there is room for lesser quality outputs and more of it, and more sort of quantity over quality use cases, if you will. I do have to just say this because this is just Silicon Valley engineer thinking of trying to solve a problem with
just need more
the
data.
Tools that they know. They're like, oh, happiness. Oh yeah, we can fix that. Let's just get data of people being happy, and then we got it.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're human beings. We're highly like tuned to detect other people's emotions.
Yeah, and bringing our creative interpretation to how you read a line or deliver a line a million different ways.
I bet these are the same. This is the same group that sort of, I mean, this is going into what Cristobal, Runway CEO, said, which I totally disagree with, was creativity is just a controlled hallucination. I think more or less that was his quote. And I couldn't disagree farther from that, because creativity is not just the brain on drugs, if you will, like imagining stuff. It's a controlled craft, and you build your creative skill set over decades.
Yeah, like a muscle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I have this minutia of an idea, but then it turns into this, and I've built that muscle in my brain to turn that little thing into this thing, and then now I can develop on that with character arches and environment builds and all of that stuff. So like that is not controlled hallucination. That's a craft, and along the same lines, I think this is the Handshake guys are probably thinking like, oh, happiness, those are just emotions. Like, surely there's if enough data is available, we can solve that.
Right, we just need more data, or we need data of like, someone, I mean, I'm sure the improv data helps. Like, here's a scenario. What's the person's reaction? How do we cause and effect to have these pairings and train that? And I'm sure this will help for some stuff, but I don't think this would ever hit the level or be something that we would want to replace like actual performers in a narrative fictional piece. Right. Maybe on something where like the scale of having a performer like a game is unrealistic. Maybe it helps with that.
Yeah, like GTA 6, you've got 3,000 NPCs. You got to just fill them all with and
we know the current emotions. Jokes, where the NPCs right now are just like, oh, how you doing? And people, reenact them and make fun of them. So if that interaction can feel more realistic, because that would just physically be impossible to have some 3,000 people on a motion tracking simulator interacting with millions of users in real time. Maybe it'll work there.
Yeah.
All right, what else? We got the actor world. Okay, this was just in the weird, why does this exist? Peacock is launching an AI-generated version of Andy Cohen.
Remind me who Andy Cohen is? His face looks familiar.
He is the face of Bravo. He's Watch What Happens Live and also co-hosts my favorite New Year's Eve countdown show with Anderson Cooper.
Okay, so he is AI generated for a bunch of Bravo shows.
I don't know why this exists. You're the Bravo verse. I mean, obviously he's like their big bread and butter is the Real Housewives universe.
Oh, okay.
And then he has his talk show, but a lot of the stuff on Bravo, is I think still Real Housewives is like the main thing. Yeah, I don't know why. Is there a need for people who want to?
Is there not enough Andy Cohen in the world? Like, is he so busy he can't shoot all these things at once?
I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, somehow I feel like we're going to see a lot more of this. I don't know if it's like an Andy Cohen chatbot and it's like, hey, I want to get Andy Cohen's take. Obviously, we know that exists in like Meta and all their stuff with, where you could ask I forgot who they launched it with, but like where you could chat with historical figures in chat. They had that feature for a bit. I think you could chat with like Abraham Lincoln for a bit.
Who would want to do that?
If you're
a Civil War reenactor, then yes.
No, if you're what's his name who built his own AI George Washington, Glenn Beck. If you're Glenn Beck, and did you see that?
Oh,
what? Yeah, I'm on the internet too much. Glenn Beck built his own AI George Washington and then had a podcast interview with him.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, okay, but so do you think Andy Cohen thing is along the same lines where it's interactive and
I think it's a chatbot. I think it's just a chatbot.
Okay.
Where it's just like, hey, I want to get Andy Cohen's as if I'm chatting to him or get his like take on something.
Are you looking up the Glenn Beck thing?
Yeah.
I got to see some footage. Yeah. Can you put that volume up on that? Oh my God. It's George Washington in a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's George Washington
he's so
in the manosphere.
He needs the Handshake Guys' emotion plug-in. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, that happened.
Okay. All right. Look, I mean, the bright side and the silver lining to all of this is the media companies are experimenting. I mean, without experimenting, you're not going to hit on gold, right? So let them experiment.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're a big fan of this, but I'm sure there is Bravo is huge and Real Housewives is huge. I'm sure there is a market of people who would be like, yeah, I would like have a chat with Andy Cohen. And people have AI girlfriends, so that's not...
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah. And then there's also probably that clientele who likes vertical dramas. It's probably a big Venn diagram of those kinds of people. Yeah. And I think they would welcome a chatbot of some real high-fi characters and Andy Cohen and all of that.
I was going to skip this because I thought like, okay, maybe it wasn't relevant here. But because we just talked about AI George Washington, this is probably a rising issue of weird stuff. Of like using AI to like feed it data based on a person and then quote interviewing them and then acting like you really had a conversation with them or that it is like factual or based
so
in like
ridiculous. Truth. Is our show becoming a comedy show? Because this is all this is crazy stuff, man.
We're just living in a weird universe. But yeah, okay, so basically, and this was another story that Vanity Fair wanted to write a feature story about Dario, CEO of whose last name Amodei. It's one of those things where I never say it out loud, so I don't know how to pronounce his name. Dario, CEO
he
of
talks
Anthropic.
like this. He's always such a New Yorker.
Somehow to be a CEO of like a big AI company, you have to like That'd be like the least charismatic person between him and Sam Altman.
Oh my God. they're stand-ins for Silicon Valley.
Anyways, back to the main thing of the story. Vanity Fair wanted to do a feature about him. He declined to do the interview. So then they just fed Claude a bunch of Dario interviews or stuff or info, and then also
book.
Sort of assumed because he created Claude should know him the best, and then interviewed Claude Dario, and then wrote an article about this.
Great.
If you want to write a feature story about a dude and the dude turns you down, then you either kill the story or you like source, from other materials.
It's a provocative piece. It's what Vanity Fair does. I mean, it's just using.
Ironically, I've just been reading clips about it online. I haven't actually read the article because why would I want to read an article about like your conversation with a chatbot making up impersonating a dude?
I mean, if Vanity Fair interview does hit on the 3 or 4 main things that Dario screams from the rooftop about, which is AI is unsafe, ChatGPT is the unsafest one, and use Claude instead of ChatGPT, like in that order. If the interview kind of covers that, then I guess it's done a good enough job.
Yeah, but I mean, you could source that info from like doing actual journalism and research. Like Dario's blog posts are like mini novels in themselves. He wrote like what was his last one about rising AI? It was like a 90-minute read. It's not like he's a secret. He writes a bunch of stuff. I don't know why you need a chatbot to do that. The bigger picture with this is just like slippery slope, especially in the nonfiction world, when you're feeding the chatbots historical data and then getting new outputs and then treating that as fact.
Yeah, you should never treat AI as ground truth or the hard truth. Yeah, that's just no bueno.
Like maybe it can synthesize ideas, bring up things to investigate, but like to kind of, also with the AI George Washington thing, it's just like, okay, maybe like you didn't really interview George Washington.
Glenn Beck was like, make George Washington more neocon.
There's another tweet where it's like, wow, he made an AI George Washington that somehow miraculously agrees with everything he says.
Exactly, yeah. You could totally do that. It's like, see, George Washington said it. And like, you built him from scratch.
I know. He's trained on historical data. And he agrees with me. That was our roundup of AI actor persona stuff. So
hope you like it, viewers. I mean, look, if this is all garbage, just skip forward. It's all good.
Let us know what you think. All right. Next up, some actual product stuff. Google on a roll again. Little less in the video world, but the big one they launched this week is Google Stitch, a vibe design platform that basically can transform natural language or crappy sketches into high fidelity designs.
Again, terrible naming from Google. Once again, Stitch. I just get the Stitch character from Disney. Yeah, from Lilo and Stitch. Like there was any other name you could have picked from. But okay, go on.
I believe Figma took a little tumble after this news. But from the look at it, I mean, basically, it is iterative, hash it out, vibe code design, but you would get the actual designs, not like an image mock-up of a design, but like app mock-ups, web page designs, but like built in actual code and stuff that you could use elsewhere and edit and build
I think
upon.
Figma was working on a version of this, but it sounds like Google beat them to it.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's still Google in their AI lab in the Google world. I've always added my like caveat where I'm always like not suspicious, but like hesitant to go all in on a Google tool just because I've always been so burned from Google killing experimental products that I like am hesitant to be like, yeah, this is going to be our main new thing.
You mentioned that before. Yeah, you seem really hurt by that.
That decades, man, of being burned over products, over things I used a lot that got killed.
Well, you're going to have to turn off your Oculus goggles soon, too.
I know. Yeah. I know. I said, the other Meta that ironically renamed the company after the metaverse.
It just goes to show nothing is permanent.
Shutting down the metaverse.
Yeah, nothing's permanent. I mean, and one day your Gmail might be obsolete. So start.
No, don't do that. Don't jinx it. Gonna go back to my 4 megabyte Yahoo account.
Hotmail, dude.
Hotmail had 2 megabytes. Yahoo had 4 megabytes. Yahoo is where it was at. And then Google was like, we'll give you 2 gigabytes. And it was like, all right, bye. Yeah, the struggle was real. And then the other thing they launched was a sort of full stack vibe coding experience
So this is competing with Cloud Code and Codex and all that stuff.
But making it easy, I think a little bit more user-friendly, because like Cloud Code and Codex, you still kind of have to either run at a terminal or know a little bit about what you're doing. This one, I believe it's all web-based. It will automatically call up a database and like kind of some of the back-end stuff that you need to run these things if you are trying to vibe code an app. It has it in a single platform for you. So you can have this web experience to kind of vibe code an app. You have this new design tool that they built to help design it.
So you have the front end, which is the design tool, and then you also have back-end infrastructure capability, like you mentioned.
Yeah, configuration of database connections and authentication flows. So it has like Google sign-in built in, so you can kind of add it quickly, database stuff, so you can add it quickly, stuff that you still have to kind of manually do a couple steps if you're using the other tools and kind of know what you're doing, built into like one single platform. So it's definitely seems like it's a tool targeted at people who want to vibe code but don't have coding experience and want a little bit simpler interface while still not giving up on the powerful features that you could vibe code potentially.
Man, I don't know what this does to like full stack developers who are like the most sought after type of developers, because they sort of know the architecture from the very bottom to all the way to the top. There are so many people that make a living being freelance and contractor and project-based full stack developers, right? Wonder what it does to them with this stuff coming out.
I mean, I think it is a dangerous slope. And I think we talked about this before of like what happens when you're a entry level or junior developer coming into the job market. And if those roles get eliminated, or a lot of them get eliminated, but you still... Like, these things are cool, but it's like you still need a quote, like an adult in the room that knows how this all works and comes together. Because I can vibe code all this stuff, but like, I don't know what's happening underneath it. Like, I wouldn't trust that, like, it's not going to blow up or like, something wrong something's going to derail. Like, you still need people with this expertise knowledge. But if we kind of replace the entry-level roles that would like feed up to being a senior developer, where is that going to put us in 10, 15 years?
How do you become a senior developer if you can't get your foot in the first place?
Right, get your hands messy and doing this kind of like lower-level coding work that you would have done that's going to be replaced by AI.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Dario, but one of the big CEOs just said that the class of 2026 coming out of college this year are going to basically more or less experience 1/3 unemployment rate. So 30% or so.
Yeah. I don't remember who said that, but I did see that quote. And yeah, that's also grim and crazy.
So crazy. Because when I graduated from college, it was like there was more jobs than college grads.
I graduated in like 2008. So it was also a pretty shitty time.
Yeah, around the same time. Yeah.
2008 was a pretty crappy time all around. Everyone was...
So I graduated like a couple of years before the crash.
Yeah. Okay. And that was when everything was still optimistic.
Damn, I didn't know you graduated in 2008. No wonder you're in film. Like, forget the job.
Yeah, when I grabbed, was like, jobs. Like, nothing seems secure now. Like, might as well just freelance. Equally as secure than
might as well make content.
Trying to get a job. I don't know if you saw this quote from Sam Altman, this tweet. I have so much gratitude to people who wrote extremely complex software character by character. It already feels difficult to remember how much effort it really took. Thank you for getting us to this point.
What an asshole. First of all, he's not a developer. He has no idea what goes on in there.
Yeah, he's like, thanks for the code. We'll take it from here. Thanks for all the hard work. Like, we're going to automate this.
These guys wonder why nobody likes stuff. It's stuff like this. Like, keep that to yourself, man.
I mean, not as bad as humans take up a lot of energy, too.
Yeah, it's like, humans need food and shelter, and they need about 20 years to become intelligent. Why can't we just have AI do all that?
Humans have a soul. AI has a soul.md file. It's the same thing. It's the same.
You can't, dude. Nonfiction is way stranger than fiction, right? Like, what's the same?
The moral of all of everything we're talking about is Silicon Valley needs a reboot. That's pretty much the bottom line here.
I have a friend who was on the first season, and he's ready. He's ready to be recast.
All right, now we'll go power through this. Quick roundup of some new stuff. This Apple LiTo. This was yours, Addy. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Apple, not known for big LLMs and image models and video models, right? They're letting everybody else play that game. What they're doing, I think, is really smart. They also need to do more, but what they're doing is they're making models that nobody else is making, very niche, very sort of bespoke and custom stuff. So LiTo is essentially a 3D latent space where you're generating a 3D object out of a prompt, right? Let's say, a camera. The issue with most 3D mesh generation is the texture is just atrocious because the texture doesn't really follow the 3D object accurately. It has no awareness of lighting. So when you see the mesh, you're like, this does look like a camera. I think I could use it. And then you put the texture on it because without the texture, it's kind of useless. You're not going to retexture it yourself. And you're like, now it looks low poly and crappy. So Apple has sort of resolved that by coming out of the latent space with a light accurate 2D rendering as well as the 3D mesh itself. So it's combining both the look and feel of nice 2D generations with the versatility of 3D mesh. On the left, you have a much more accurate lighting and texturing of that apple, and versus on the right, this is what you generally get with automated AI mesh generation. Is it'll slap on a texture that's just totally not what the object really looks like. That's because it's using two different processes. It's using a 3D mesh generation, which is completely decoupled from the texture and the image generation. Here, this is all combined into one pipeline.
It's interesting. Yeah, and it seems like everything at Apple it does come out with machine learning or paper-wise is rooted in the Vision Pro application space. Like that other paper we talked about like a month or two ago of what did it do? I think it helped generate
It was a VLM,
worlds.
right? It was like Apple does have a model that local lightweight model that can look at the real world and identify. It's like the T2 Terminator.
Is that? Didn't they do something else that was like 2D image to help expand to 3D images, like 3D space or something like that?
Sure, I could see that.
Basically, everything they've been coming out with is like seems like that could apply to Vision Pro in that use case.
and like they're making stuff nobody else is making, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
because they could really, I mean, them being Apple, they have so many brilliant minds at work. They can make anything they want, and they're choosing to go after these very specific lanes. And I know there is an internal strategy on why they're making these things. I just wonder what that is, right? Like, what's the end game?
Well, I mean, so Vision Pro now, but then also obviously the holy grail is like a realistic augmented reality. And so something that you could have, and project things into the real world. So like having objects that can match the lighting of like our actual environment if it's being projected on our glasses, and we have like I see this apple on the table here, but then it looks real, or like the lighting seems like it fits my environment. That seems like the play down the line. Yeah. I wonder if they're feeling a little bit vindicated with Meta shutting the metaverse down, because they're like, we see AR, VR, but we don't. They were never about like immersive worlds or metaverse type stuff. They were just like immersive headset for work stuff, but not like a collaborative place.
Yeah, it's like it's a functional approach to AR, VR, where Meta's metaverse was more of an entertainment approach. I do wonder like what the future of the metaverse is in its entirety. If you take both Fortnite and Roblox into account, I know both of those platforms, although they have millions of daily active users, they're struggling with seeing growth year over year. And one of the big problems with both of them, because they have young audience, is that as they age out, as a gamer goes from like 12 years old to 15 to 18, they'll start to kind of attrition away from the platform. And so there's a natural sort of fall off with the growth curve, because you can't input enough young users at a faster enough rate than the older users leaving. So I think in about, 10, 15 years, we'll see what the metaverse is, and if it even around.
Yeah, and what that looks like. I mean, there's just a lot of technical limitations to have that low latency real time experience. that
Right.
was
And
outlined
everything Apple, yeah.
in that book behind you somewhere that I know is on the shelf behind you.
Yes. It's actually behind you when you sit here.
When I said there, the
it's right
Metaverse
there.
book, which was a good book, but basically the entire book was just like, here are all of the technical limitations of like how something like the Matrix like is physically not possible and might never be possible.
Yeah, shout out to Matthew Ball. That's his book. Yeah.
Okay, other quick update announcement. This was a teaser, so we don't really know much about it, but Runway previewed a developer preview with Nvidia that was a mostly realistic sub 100 millisecond video generation model.
Dang, that's good.
That's
real good.
It's fast. Still doesn't look like what we're seeing from Crea. So their demo is like type a text prompt, and as you're typing, the video is generating, and then you could redo the text prompt and the video changes, which is cool.
It's near real time. It's not real time.
Yeah, not like Crea where you're like moving objects and your video is updating as you're moving the objects, or you could attach it to a webcam and your video is updating with the camera. So like, I still think text inputs is like the weakest input.
Yeah, if you compare like Crea to like Unreal, where it's like instantaneous and real, this is more like a really high GPU execution of Arnold, like a traditional renderer that's mimicking a fast real-time response, but under the hood, it's probably just the same thing. It just has way more GPU to
it's just
kind
the same
of crunch
thing, just running faster.
I'm sure that they lighten it down, but underneath it, I don't think anything is really real-time ready. And they're throwing the latest and greatest NVIDIA GPU at it, which would naturally give it a boost of speed and throughput.
Yeah. All right, other quick update. Let's see. Photoshop added rotate object to their beta, which
I tried this
in Illustrator first. But yeah, this is how does it work in 3D?
Really
so
good.
You could give it a 2D image, and then it'll turn it into a 3D object that you could rotate.
Yeah, so you're seeing on the video here. Yeah, and then the last click was for harmonize. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, for most Photoshop users out there, this is a game changer, because that is the one you battle with the most, is changing 2D perspectives of stuff.
Yeah. And it's in your Photoshop tool, which is already like has tons of powerful features and is a powerful photo editor. So like this is great for like really dialing in those first frames or anything, product shots, whatever.
Yeah, if you want to change the color of the cat, you can then pick the cat and go into Photoshop Nano Banana and change the color of the cat. Like you have all of that at your disposal at the same time.
Yeah, this is a really good update. And then last quick update, Firefly. Adobe's AI image generator can now be trained on your own art. I think we saw this in a preview, but it wasn't out yet.
Yeah, if you go to the Firefly website, it just kind of says contact us. I'm wondering.
That was, I think, like a custom Firefly model. That was like an enterprise thing. This seems more like Midjourney-esque riffs, where you can give it like, or the mood board feature, where you kind of give it like 20 images of like what you kind of like, and then it kind of steers the output to look like that.
Perhaps it's training a LoRa under the hood and then giving you like a weighting function to then influence your generation.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, yeah, you were just there.
No, that was the enterprise thing you were talking about. Here's this is their press release from yesterday.
Yeah. Expand a series of photos with the same look. That's cool. Explored character across different scenes.
Custom models.
Ooh.
Custom models are private, designed for commercial use.
Designed for commercial use.
So
I like
illustration status. Upload 10 to 30 JPEGs.
Uh-huh. Okay, so like this is an illustration style. Aim for score. Oh,
I mean,
wow.
It literally looks like it's, like you said, I think it looks like you're training a LoRa.
Yeah, but it's like so user friendly.
Yeah.
Look how easy it is to visualize your data and then have like a score of how good your data is. And then it's doing the training offline sometime. I guess it's going to tell you when it's ready.
Now, it does seem like all the demos they're showing are for like very specific illustration styles.
Sure.
So, I wonder how well this would work with something that's like a, photorealistic, or if you're trying to do something photorealistic with like a certain type of cinematography, kind of like our One Battle challenge thing that we did. But for illustration styles, this looks great.
This is cool. It's usable for a lot of sort of marketing, social media campaign stuff. I think.
Yeah, especially if you have a design, you're like an aesthetic, and you want to just make more stuff in that aesthetic. This looks like a great use. And so this is consumer friendly, accessible, custom model training, not the enterprise thing that they offer that is
Joey, we were talking about references versus Laura's. This looks like a big Laura thing. What's up, man?
I still think, like I said, they weren't showing photorealistic demos. I still think photorealism. You want that? You're going for the reference.
Okay, all right. Well, when I get my hands on this, the first thing I'm trying is the Desert Highway.
Yeah,
with the Dodge Charger.
Yeah. All right. Good place to wrap it up.
So we had a couple of big videos. If you didn't catch it yet, watch the Comfy UI CEO, Yolan, getting interviewed by us, as well as our coverage of the Netflix acquisition of Ben Affleck's company, Interpositive. We had a lot of comments and thumbs up and high points, and we were partying and giving each other high fives. Just kidding. Joey and I still haven't seen each other in person. But thank you for your support, y'all. We really appreciate it.
Did you see what the supposed price tag of Interpositive was?
Is it $600 million?
Yeah. But I wonder if that's part of the whole package deal of like for the movie, the movies too. I don't.
Ted Sarandos is already spending that $2.8 billion that he earned from the Paramount deal. He's already like, that. yo, you can have some. You can have some.
He got that breakage fee. He's like, here you go, man. Well, thanks for everything we talked about at denoisepodcast.com. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next episode.